WTO. Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? The outrage over, where's the outrage? 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 Where do we go from here? And folks, where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? Where do we go from here? So my first sense of outrage, the outrage.
Who did Bang Bang with Fang Fang?
Outrage. WTO. The outrage, the outrage, the outrage, the outrage, the outrage, the outrage, the outrage.
And on that note, thank you for being with us. Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that.
We don't want that. Where's the outrage?
No, the end part where it's like, bye. No, we're not leaving.
Yeah.
We're not leaving.
Not yet. Not yet. So under where's the outrage? So we're going to shift topics and we're going to get a little irreverent, but still an outrage. So what's my name? Dr. J. Varma. Do you know who Dr. J. Varma is?
I know where we're going with this.
Okay. So Dr. J. Varma, during the Immaculate Virus period, right, was the Immaculate Virus czar in New York City under Bill, whatever his name was, Bill
de Blasio.
De Blasio, right?
Mm-hmm. The guy who was eating a cheeseburger on a mic to get people to get a shot.
Right. So
disgusting.
It turns out, wait a minute, under rank hypocrisy, it turns out that when he was telling everybody you can't go to your churches, you can't shop in these stores, you have to stay in your house, you have to socially distance, he was going to drug-fueled sex parties.
He was stooping everybody.
So basically, and this is an undercover video by Steven Crowder. It's all over the internet. And you sit there and you go, he says the following on video camera. We went to some like underground dance parties underneath a bank on Wall Street. We were all rolling. We were all taking Molly. I don't know what Molly is. You can explain that to me in a second.
Okay.
I assume it's a drug.
Yes.
And everybody's high. And I was so happy because I hadn't done that like in a year and a half. I shouldn't be laughing.
A year and a half? Bro, you're grown. What are you doing ecstasy as a grown person?
Oh, is that what Molly is?
Molly is
ecstasy.
It is Molly is it's MDMA. Molly, the active ingredient in ecstasy that gets you high is MDMA.
Yeah, I don't know that. So he served as the senior health advisor to Mayor Bill de Blasio. He ran the pandemic response, right?
Yep.
Here's the other thing. Now, look, some of this you got to think is made up because who would be so stupid as to say this on camera? Here, quote.
Because people are so desperate. Just goes to show you how desperate people are to be like loved or what. Oh my God. Okay, go ahead.
I sit here, and how people would say this on camera. Quote. Yeah. I did all this deviant like sexual stuff while I was like live like on TV and stuff. People were like, aren't you afraid? Aren't you embarrassed? And I was like, no, actually, I'm like, I love being my authentic self. And this was a July 27th film clip. And you sit here and you go, I mean, how do you trust authority? Right. Because, and again, it doesn't matter what you say. It matters what you do. I mean, I would much rather be judged on my acts than my words, because I mean, you can judge me on these words. I mean, they're probably going to lock me up in the rubber room with the white jacket, with the arms that tie me.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
Right. But where's the outrage, folks? So here you have the former head of the, I don't know, Immaculate Virus Response Team in New York City. We're trying to avoid this being censored, folks. And now admits after the fact that, like it was, what was it? Gavin Newsom went to this 5-star restaurant with this big party and this big party, but he's telling everybody else to stay indoors. These are your elected leaders, ladies and gentlemen. Elections have consequences.
That's right.
But elections don't matter if you don't vote, and elections don't matter if you take all this stuff sitting down and go, yeah, they tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Yeah, no news there.
Yep. And think about it, ladies and gentlemen, that dude was not elected. He was appointed. So it's not just when you elect people, they're picking the administrative state. They're appointing these people who end up being the ones running your life. So even if you don't, this is why, like, for example, one of the reasons why electing Donald Trump this term is so important to me is because of the Supreme Court. I want to maintain a conservative, constitutional, originalist Supreme Court. And we've got some old folks who've got some health problems. And if Kamala Harris is in there, she's going to get some freaking commies up in there with her silly friends. And think about it. Again, Anthony Fauci, okay, you guys, shameless self-promotion, generally irritable merch store, virus of the Immaculate Conception, St. Fauci shirts and coasters and stickers. Go get them. That man was the highest paid federal official, and he got to decide your life. He ruined our economy. That person was given way more power than they should have. And that's who affects your life, ladies and gentlemen. That's my lecture for today.
I want to go back to Varma for a second. Two questions.
Filthy. Remember I said earlier about perverts and degenerates? This is exact.
Well, but again, what about all the New York City workers who lost their jobs because they wouldn't get vaccinated or they wouldn't wear a mask? And you've got guys like this. So that's where I have issues, right?
Yeah.
So okay, you want to be a hypocrite, stand in line and take a number with all the other, millions of hypocrites that are out there. But there are workers, firemen,
yep,
police officers, right?
Who
stood on principle. And look, let's go back to all of this in terms of being vaccinated. You want to get a vaccine? That's fine with me. Get it. It should be your personal choice.
Autonomy.
Right. Personal. No, forget about even personal responsibility. It's personal responsibility. Right? Not personal autonomy. It's personal responsibility. Right. So, and then to end this section, Mayor Adams' office issued the following statement. You want to talk about, CYA?
Yeah.
According to the rep for Mayor Adams, Varma is not now, nor has he ever been, a member of the current administration, and we have praise for the City Department of Health for its work during the pandemic.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Robert, did you know that the Eric Adams administration still has some of those workers, those firemen, those teachers you were just talking about? Mm-hmm. They are still not allowed to go back to work. So they won their cases. They won their cases, and now the Adams administration is oh my God, what's the word? Fighting it.
Blackballing?
No, what's the the court ruled.
Are they whiteballing? They're appealing.
Thank you, Lord help me.
They're appealing the decision. I was trying to get into a race war, blackballing, whiteballing. Just
I missed it.
So comments on electing Trump. Bring them on, Lord Benjamin. Where are the comments? John Hayward, there seems to be an endless list of reasons to elect Trump over Harris. My number one is the economy, inflation. I don't know what he means. Et cetera. Oh, got it. It still comes down to what Ronald Reagan said when he was running for re-election in 1980. What was that? 84, I think. Right. So are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And as much as that's an overused question, the question is as relevant today as it was then. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand why people don't like Donald Trump. I personally don't have an issue with him, but I grew up, North Jersey. A bunch of guys from Queens sound like him, right? And he is not a polished politician. He's not smooth, but at this point, he's got a record to run on.
Yeah.
Right. And you've got to look back and go, okay, people should vote their self-interest. The economy is one of them. I still think immigration might be more of an issue because it intersects with the economy, but it does come down to what James Carville said during the Clinton years, right? It's the economy, stupid.
Yep.
So, I think what was his name? The gentleman
Josh.
in the comments? I think Josh is right. People are going to vote their pocketbook. So I agree with that.
Speaking of voting your pocketbook, go buy some merch.
Oh, go buy some. By the way, I want to come back to, you said the Supreme Court is an important issue to you.
Yeah.
They don't cover the news. There was another leak from the Supreme Court. There's a leak during Dobbs.
Oh, I didn't hear this.
There's another leak last week. So basically someone leaked some of the private communications between Chief Justice Roberts and some of the other members recently. And let's see, this is dated September 16th. So, recently. And basically, there were internal memos and deliberations that showed Chief Justice Roberts as having, quote, molded the outcome of 3 major cases the court considered dealing with January 6th, granting of President Trump certain immunities in presidential acts. So basically, again, it's another effort by the Democrats, or the autocrats, as I like to call them, to delegitimize the one institution that they haven't been able to co-opt.
That's right.
Right. So they're going to try to delegitimize or whatever.
Yeah, legitimize. You got it.
Legitimize. Right. And, here's the thing. That's the Chief Justice's role. That's what he's supposed to do, especially when he's in the majority on a decision. He's supposed to cobble together majorities, right? And, give and take on. By the way, that's the way the system of checks and balances and compromises is supposed to work. You don't get everything that you want.
That's right.
But that's not good enough for sort of the progressive left, where now they're trying to expose them and delegitimize the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Until, of course, Kamala Harris gets to appoint 3 of them, and then it's okay. Or let's pack the court.
Yeah, they don't want checks and balances. They want to control all 3 branches. They want to turn the Supreme Court into another legislative body, which is essentially what they did before its slight restoration towards a more conservative Supreme Court, but still not as good as I would like. But, again, ladies and gentlemen, the only job of the Supreme Court is to determine if a law is constitutional. It is not. They don't legislate from the bench. I'm sorry to disappoint you, AOC and, Dems, but that's not their job. And if the American people wanted it done, you would be able to do it through the legislative branch without ramrodding it through as freaking executive orders and all this other nonsense.
Well, and you bring up a really seminal point. I mean, first of all, Congress, if there's one fault here, it's Congress, right? Congress is supposed to pass clear laws. If you passed clear laws that weren't, 4,000 pages long, then the executive could implement the laws, and then there would be no need for sort of an administrative state. Now, with the Chevron deference decision or the overturning of that, we'll see over time how that impacts people. But Congress is supposed to pass clear laws. The administrative state is not supposed to interpret the laws. But up until now, for the last, 20 or 30 years since the Chevron deference decision, there's this burgeoning administrative state that, regardless of who's in office, stays there, right? So we'll see what happens there. I do want to end on a bright note, because this is a dark episode. So,
all right.
So in Boise, Idaho, a coffee owner, Big City Coffee, just won a $4 million award against Boise State University because during the height of I can't say, but let's just say the Black Lives Matter protest years, she came out in support of police, and they basically forced her out of business in a variety of ways. So they just came back and they just awarded her $4 million. The jury awarded Big City Coffee owner Sarah Fenley $3 million for lost business, reputational damage, and mental and emotional distress and personal humiliation. And then they awarded punitive punishment, another $1 million in punitive awards.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes,
and sometimes justice is served. So I'm
trying to look at Lord Benjamin.
A little tree in the foam sometimes.
So Ericka, how time flies, and we're going fun, and we still didn't even talk Israel Appreciation Day, which we're going to get.
Well, hey, we've got like 3 minutes left. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about Israel Appreciation Day. So go to IsraelAppreciationDay.com. The event was last week. We had, upwards of 5,000 viewers. It's, both online and ticketed to the event. And it was really a rewarding experience for me personally to bring together people, because, you got to practice what you preach, right?
That's right.
To bring together people who don't agree on any other issue, but that this country needs to support Israel and to come together. And I'll tell you what was most heartening was not even the event, which was wonderful. And we're going to be rebroadcasting it. So, look at IsraelAppreciationDay.com. And there'll be more information forthcoming. We're going to be posting some clips of our speakers on social media. But probably the most heartening thing for me was in this 5-month process of from conception to making this event a reality was the groundswell of support across this country that we were able to find and tap into. We didn't find it was there all along about Israel. And people get it in this country and how important Israel is, not only to Israel, of course, and Israelis, but the world and to Western values, because Israeli values are American values. And that was such a heartening thing for me. And I know you were there, and thank you for coming to Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
But close us out on that and take us home.
I think it was one of those moments you talked a lot about it being nonpartisan, and it was so funny. I was getting makeup, and one of our guests is a Democrat, and she cracked a joke about, she would have preferred to introduce one of the Democrat speakers, and then it was so funny, and I was like, wow. We really probably would not agree on anything else except this one issue. And because everyone is so passionate about it, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care if you're black, white, red, brown, Jew, I don't care what you are. I don't care how you identify. I don't care. Do we agree that Israel has the right to exist? Do we agree on that? Because
do we agree that Israel has a right to defend itself?
To defend itself and to exist, right? I never thought we were going to have to argue that, but we do. And seeing so many people come together, an interfaith, nonpartisan event, it was awesome.
It felt good, didn't it?
It did. And this is the thing, like, I don't care. Nobody cares if you're gay. Nobody cares if you're trans. Nobody cares if you're black. Nobody cares nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
So my teacher used to say, focus on what you have in common, not what differentiates you. And and therein lies the lesson, right? Which is, and speak up, obviously, right? Used to say, kun fayakun, which is speaking, it should become so, right? Mm. Words to deeds to actions, which is why to end where we started, right? 2 attempted assassination attempts of a president, and no one seems to give a damn. The media doesn't. The public is not outraged, right? And the politicians are going on business as usual, and the American public is just sitting back and taking it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode, and we will see you next week.
And we'll get to term limits questions next episode.